Oh man, I try to avoid doing this video because when I first saw it on Twitter, I was like, this is gonna go viral. So let's watch the video. Says the caption says 8 boys and many grandbabies later, and I want you to notice something, right? So you got a older black couple over here. They had 8 kids, right? You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kids, and look who they decided to marry and procreate with. So these are the products and the half breeds that came. Oh, when I say like half breed, just I hope people don't take it at disrespectfully, man. I just be saying that. I don't know why. Look, man, I'm gonna blame my surroundings. Okay, I'm going to blame my surroundings. All right, the kids I grew up with in high school were very racist, so am I. Now it's rubbed off on me. All right, that's my excuse. Anyway, anyway, um, now when we saw this right, and the products, so we already know who's going to be mad in the comment section. You already know who's going to be mad in the comment section. It's going to be the pandering pro-black men and then primarily black women that are going to be mad in the comment section. Now, toss out all the controversial stuff aside. I do not understand why in 2024 people are shocked when you're seeing other races commingling with other races. I don't understand. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. That might be the safest option for I'll say this, for particularly black men, that might be the safest option for them to marry outside their race, or even black for some even for some or many cases black women. I'm gonna tell you why, particularly in the black community. I will say this, for black men and black women, it might be the safest option. This is why. In the black community, you have men, right? You'll have like a small percentage of men like messing with most of the women, right? So you literally have cousins now. They'll be messing with each other. They have no idea that they're related. You're seeing it amongst a lot of rappers. Kevin Gates, you see it with what's his name, Blueface. Face. I hope I'm saying his name right. Blueface. And am I saying his name right? Am I saying his right? Blueface. Is that his name? Hold up. I'm sorry. Yeah, Blueface. Yeah. So Blueface and the other crazy chick. I'm blanking on her name. They find out they're cousins and they still have a kid together, and look how the kid came out. Look, so you got these now you got black people commingling in their own community, right? Procreating within their own community, and now they do the research and they find out they're second or third cousins. That's because the women are sharing a small percentage of the men. So low key, that might be the safest option for a lot of black people, anyways. Just in general. Now, this is going to be my main point here, though. This is going to be my main thing. You cannot be shocked when you see a black person with a white person, right? But we'll even take it further. We're talking about a black man and a white woman, or a black man with another race. It could be Asian, a black man with a Latina, right? So you can't be shocked in 2024. You have a whole new generation of black kids that went to white schools, right? PWIs. Or they moved to certain communities where there's no white people in there. I'm pretty sure those parents, they did well for themselves, or the products, the 8 boys, they probably ended up doing well for themselves, and they ended up moving to a certain community when there's not a whole lot of black people in it. So if they're in communities where there's no black people in it, what do you think is going to happen? Like this is where I don't understand. They tell people to do better for themselves, move out the hood, and blah blah blah. Okay, so they do, but outside of the hood is not really primarily black people there. So if you got well-to-do black people moving outside certain communities, they're going to most likely be in a community where there's not a whole lot of them, or they're going to end up going to schools where there's not a whole lot of them. Like, I remember people were mad when Bronny had LeBron James' son had a white girl, right? He went to prom with a white girl, but I'm like, the community that he lives in, there's like no black people in there at all. So it's like, I don't know what they expect black men to do on that end. But let's analyze the some of the because they had the people lined up here real quick. Let me choose something. Okay, so we got the 8 boys here, right? One of them's carrying a kid, right? One of them's carrying a kid. So because I counted 7 mothers. I counted 7 women. So that was probably him. The baby mother probably couldn't make the photo shoot, or she's passed away, or she's a deadbeat. We don't know that situation. All right. So we'll let that go. So I count One, two, three, four. Okay, I see four white women, right? And I don't know what race this one is. That's like one of those. She looks racially ambiguous, so that's gonna be a question mark on that end. And then I see a black chick, and then I see an Asian chick over here with her dog. Let me stop. The joke that came to mind. Let me just stop. Oh man, that was. Oh man, I'm evil. Anyways, man. Let me let that joke go. Let me let it go. So we see there's an Asian chick, and then we see one black girl, and then we see four white girls and a racially ambiguous woman, right? So we'll see the comments. Somebody says, so the light skinned brother, the only one that got assistant is on, while all the dark skinned brothers playing in the snow. I will say this though. I will say this: the people that complain about particularly black men having white women, because usually from my vantage point, I don't really see black women going off on black women having white men. So I'm just going to focus on the black men with white women or black men with a different race of women. For some weird reason, it's always like the stuff that black women will say about black men being with white women is like, wow. So it's almost to the point where we can't even hold like it. You see how people will talk about how older white dudes would be super racist if like they will call they will call out the older white dudes racist for their daughters or sons. If they get mad if their daughters or sons marries a black woman or a black man, and that man would be shamed and called a racist and he's this and that. But now that it's flipped, who's going to start calling out particularly the BWs or the pro-black men, particularly the pro-black men, for being racist themselves when black men decide, but particularly when black men decide to go after a different race. He said the family ain't finna be black anymore. So yeah, that's kind of like basically like if a redneck said something like that, but in reverse, we would say that redneck is evil. But now it's just like, you know what I mean? Somebody said, as a mother, I'd be a little embarrassed, honestly. Somebody said, somebody just diluted a whole bloodline. Like, yeah, this is very racist. This is very racist because if a white dude said that, and they have said that in the past, we call them all types of evil and stuff. But now that the ball is on the other foot, look at what we're saying. You know, he said somebody said Dr. Umar would have a heart attack if he ever saw this. But like I said, I really don't really to be fair though. To be fair to the black men in this picture, I don't want to hear any black women complaining about this. And the reason why I don't want to hear black women complaining about this particularly, you can't be on Twitter talking crazy, right? Or in public talking crazy about ninjas. And then when you see ninjas with a different type of person, you can't be mad at that. You can't. I remember when Terrell Owens opened up on why he doesn't date black women. And he opened up and he said, this is what my childhood was like. And then anytime a man opens up about what happened to him in his childhood, women will literally be like, that happened when you were in middle school, let it go. And I'm like, okay, do you want something to change? Do you want to actually see change? Maybe it would be nice for you to take accountability. Wrong word. What if you want to actually see a change? Maybe you guys need to change how you behave. Because I know how, really women in general, but I know how black women treat most black men when they were kids. I already know how that was. I escaped a lot of I'll say this. I escaped a lot of the ridicule, even though I did get a lot of it, but I would escape it later on, like say like in middle school, is because I went through puberty early. So what happens is, particularly the black boys that don't have it together early, right? In high school, middle school, elementary, like black women will go off on them and start like we'll make fun of them for being dusty and all of this. You don't got this, you don't got that. And they look at the boys their age like they ain't nothing, unless if he's an athlete, a drug dealer, you know what I mean, or a musician. Now, when I was a kid, even though I was short, I was a musician, I was an athlete, right? And when I was even younger, like say when we're talking about elementary, middle school, I was a menace. I was a troublemaker. So I had that villain thing going on. So I so say if like a black girl said something about me, I would go back and forth with it, but they take that as flirting. I didn't know that at the time, but I didn't realize that when I would go back and forth and start dissing back, they actually respected me for doing that. I just didn't know it at the time because I was more of an equal opportunist type dude. Like if a white girl went at me and was talking crazy, which was rare, right? Especially the older I got, I would go back. I'll go right back at her, right? Or same thing, man, whatever. I was very equal opportunist when it came to that because I went to a lot of places with different backgrounds. Very so I have a very like my background is very storied, is very very well versed. So it's never about for me. It's not really about race on any. I just wanted certain people to leave me alone, and I didn't really like hanging out with most people just in general. You know what I mean? So now, but I went a bit off course. Now back to this picture here. These, like I said, you're gonna see in this comment section is a lot of black women hating on this. But like I said, if you want to see a change, you have to change yourself. And like I said, you can't tell black women anything. You can't. Like I've made my channel and I've purposely avoided talking about black women because I knew the moment I start putting black women in any of my titles, I already know my comment section is going to be lit up. I already knew. Dude, I was talking about how white women age badly. They age like bananas. I was talking about how Latinas are crazy. I was talking about how Asian women be poisoning people's food. Hurry up, you buy, making fun of their accents, making fun of them and being Native American women being in folklore. I've literally done it, and all I really said about black women, I'm talking about particularly the Charleston White video I made when Charleston White was talking about why NFL athletes end up with white women over black women, and I explained I wasn't even talking about love. I wasn't even talking about attitude. I wasn't even talking about none of that. All I was talking about is the finances, the financial stuff behind it. And black women were in the comment section crying no damn river. I'm literally like, I'm telling you, white women are literally paying off your boyfriends you're paying off your men to be with them. But I'm the bad guy for saying that because, like I said, like black women believe they can do no wrong. Black women believe they can do no wrong. It's almost like black women today. I'm saying black women today. Black women growing up today, they remind me of the it's almost weird how it switched. It reminds me of the white nationalist conservatives who believe that they can do no wrong. I'm talking about back when I was growing up, or even some today. I'm talking about there are like I'm talking about white dudes today. Sorry, white dudes growing up. Particularly the white conservative nationalists. They believe everything evolves around them. Everything. Like they'll tell you. Actually, you know what? Let me not even bring up an example of an athlete because then they're gonna start crying over that. But they will like the way they would protect their certain heroes, where you can't talk about certain people. Like the way they talk is almost like they could do no wrong. They could do absolutely no wrong, and you're just like, okay. Or the way they would police certain athletes, right? The way they would police Terrell Owens back in the day when I was growing up, right? And then you would bring up a white athlete that did the exact same thing, and they'll just be like, oh, just forget about it. And you're just like, you literally lambasted Terrell Owens. Meanwhile, Ben Roethlisberger or somebody else would do something, and it's just like crickets. What's going on with that? And they'll just be like, there's nothing wrong with that. Today, BWs are exactly like that, but like way worse, because it's like you can't even say a critique. Maybe you could be a little bit nicer when you're younger. Or maybe you could do this. Maybe you can like not mess with drug dealers when you're 12 or 13 years old. Make sure you're, when we talk about young women being sexually active at certain ages, oh, you're a predator. How do you even notice? How are you thinking about? And you're just like, okay, we're trying to prevent this stuff from happening. Maybe we should get at the root right now. Or you could just, or it could just like literally be, a black man saying, I don't want to mess with a single mother. Just a black man saying that, and black women are literally going to put this man on a cross for saying that. That's how bad it is. You know what I mean? So, like I said, if black women want this to change, you have to change yourself. but like I said, they don't want to do that. So I like I said, I don't even, like I said, I don't discriminate when it comes to dating because I'm not really looking to marry anybody, not in this country. And if I end up leaving this country, I'm still not shut off from, okay, I'm not going to marry a black woman if I go to a certain country where divorce laws are a certain way. That doesn't mean I'm never going to date a. It's just particularly when you're talking about American raised black women, and even let's not act like Africans aren't the same. Remember, in Nigeria, they have like a 60% paternity fraud rate. So let's not act like African women are excluded. But particularly Western raised black women, you can't tell them anything. You can't tell them anything. Especially if you're a black man, you can't tell them anything. You can't tell them to change. You can't tell them to maybe you should be this way. You can't even tell them like all I said in that Charleston White video was like, look, white women are literally paying these men for the dates, and they just take it as you hate black women and you hate your mama, and you're just like, you know what, whatever. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working so well for you. Keep doing what you're doing. That's what my coach used to tell me back in the day. Keep doing what you're doing since it's working so well. 12 appearances, 1 goal, 0 assists. I don't know how to play. I remember he was talking to somebody. He was talking about somebody on his favorite soccer team at the time. I remember my coach used to say, one of my coaches used to say some shit like, "Hey, keep doing what you're doing since it's working so well for you. It's working so well for you. Just keep doing what you're doing since you don't want to change. Keep doing what you're doing." You know what I mean? But like I said, if you want a change, if you want to change or a change, you must change yourself.